During the interview, I was relentlessly pressed by the host about the reasons for my breakup with my ex. With an expression of profound anguish, I confessed, I cannot bear long-distance relationships. At that moment, my ex was busy tilling the fields for a reality show. Upon returning from the fields at midnight, he climbed onto Weibo to berate me, exclaiming, "Damn it, it's merely a 5-minute journey between our schools, and you claim you can't handle a long-distance relationship." Consequently, the entire internet clamored to send me off to the fields. If we are to speak of unscrupulousness, the host of the divorce-themed reality show would undoubtedly rank second, with no one daring to contest the first position. Their lack of ethics is quite evident. It is understandable, for no artist dares to participate in such a show. After much effort, they managed to snag me, a hapless soul, and were determined to extract every ounce of drama. The host nearly thrust the microphone into my mouth. "So, Jiu, why exactly did you part ways with your ex?" We are all quite concerned. My visage reflected agony, yet internally, I had already contemplated all the sorrows of my life, which prevented me from smiling. I cannot bear long-distance relationships. Unwilling to relent, she persisted, but fortunately, I cleverly redirected the conversation to another observer. However, what transpired next was utterly unexpected. My unfortunate ex responded, "Damn it, it's merely a 5-minute journey between our schools, and you claim you can't handle a long-distance relationship?" Then the internet erupted. After all, Chung Huaishu, a top-tier celebrity, is incomparable to someone of my status as a third-tier actor. He rose to fame as part of a boy band, where he was already a sensation. Now that his 3-year contract has expired and the boy band has disbanded, his stardom has only intensified. Which female celebrity in the industry does not yearn to stir up some rumors with him? This is certainly more expedient than the steady grind of acting. Thus, when my agent presented me with an invitation to let's farm together, I was utterly bewildered, convinced she and Chung Huaishu had lost their minds. It was your indiscreet remarks during the interview, coupled with Chung Huaishu's response, that caused the trending topic to explode. The entire internet has crowdfunded to get you on this show. I felt an overwhelming desire to weep. Appearing on a reality show with my ex felt akin to a death sentence. Moreover, his immense popularity intimidated me greatly. I inquired whether I could decline the offer, but my agent was resolute, having already signed the contract. Thus, she hastily packed my belongings and sent me off to the fields. As I departed, she reminded me, "I understand that it may not be suitable for a girl to go alone, so I've arranged for a companion." I paid little heed to her words, consumed by anxiety over encountering Chung Huaishu, as it had been 3 long years since we last met. The rural roads were arduous to traverse, and my suitcase dragged heavily behind me, making progress nearly impossible. Desperation clawed at me, yet the production team offered no assistance. At that moment, a familiar yet jarring voice pierced my ears. "Oh, Miss Sue, are you struggling to move? How precious you are." I instantly widened my eyes and turned to the source of the voice. Su Xiaoxiao? Oh my, how on earth did I end up with her? I've never gotten along with her, and the whole circle knows it. She cast a disdainful glance in my direction, casually snatching the bag off my suitcase and hastening her pace, her short legs moving swiftly. I opened my mouth to retort but found myself at a loss for words. After all, who could possibly call her legs short when she stands at a height of 175 centimeters? No matter. The rural dirt road would punish any stubborn individual. Soon enough, both Su Xiaoxiao and the wheels of my suitcase found themselves ensnared in the mud. We were both so anxious, we could have smashed our luggage in frustration. Just as despair set in, a hand appeared before me, effortlessly taking over my suitcase. Following the hand, I beheld a figure clad in a simple white t-shirt, his thin lips pressed together, his expression rather indifferent. "Let me handle it." I stood there, momentarily taken aback, allowing him to act while my heart raced with anxiety. It was Chung Huaishu. Another boy took Su Xiaoxiao's luggage, grinning widely at me. I recognized him. He was the youngest contestant on the show, previously part of a group called Chize alongside Chung Huaishu. As I followed behind him, I overheard him muttering casually, "Huaishu, that rascal. I was the one who got to Sister Xiaoyu first, yet he stole the spotlight." My footsteps froze instantly, yet he remained silent, guiding me to our room. My farming boy band is quite the gentleman, knowing to help girls with their luggage. Chen Ge is carrying Yubao's luggage. Upstairs, Su Ji walked ahead, and Chung Huaishu followed suit. It's perfectly normal for him to carry her luggage. Stop with the CP nonsense. Watching the barrage of comments roll by, I finally grasped the situation. The entire program was being live-streamed, and it had commenced. The production team had assigned us to the accounting room. The accounting room hadn't been renovated, The walls were peeling, insects were fluttering about, and even the cameras hadn't been set up yet. Cheng Huaishu frowned as he tidied up. Su Xiaoxiao had long since disappeared, disdainfully wandering off. I silently assisted him in the cleanup, but as soon as I made a move, he halted me with a voice of authority. I've never let you do such chores before, so why start now? Go sit over there, the chair has been wiped. I had no choice but to obediently sit on the chair and watch him work. In that moment, I felt a wave of nostalgia wash over me, recalling the old Cheng Huaishu. Throughout our lives, as long as he was present, I never had to lift a finger. He, who could hardly care for himself, took meticulous care of me. Suddenly, my nose tinged with emotion, and a wave of bitterness surged in my heart. If that incident had never occurred, perhaps I could have remained by Cheng Huaishu's side forever. Once he finished tidying up, he pulled out his phone, his demeanor slightly awkward as he added me back on WeChat. I tilted my head to observe him. He cleared his throat twice. We'll be in the fields most of the time, so just call me on WeChat if you need anything. I looked at him skeptically. But don't you all just shout to communicate? Cheng Huaishu's hand brushed against his neck. You're a girl. Your voice isn't that loud. I squinted at him. He always touched his neck when he lied. He caught my gaze and shot me a glare, raising a fist in a mock-threatening manner. Are you going to add me or not? If not, I'll hit you. I promptly pulled out my phone and scanned the QR code. One must know when to bend and when to stand firm. As I was about to leave, Cheng Huaishu threw me a parting remark. Don't overthink it. This is just work. I shrugged nonchalantly. Oh, I'm not overthinking it. His smile instantly faded, leaving me bewildered. Truly, the mind of a man is as unfathomable as the depths of the sea. I settled onto the bed to start organizing my belongings. At that moment, Su Xiaoxiao returned from her escapades outside, bursting in and immediately complaining about the dilapidated state of the place, lamenting her misfortune in having to record a show here with me. As she grumbled while making the bed, her frustration only grew. Ugh, this is so annoying, Sujiu. Help me with the bed. It dawned on me then that Cheng Huaishu had only helped me with my bedding. I blinked innocently, I don't know how. Her eyes widened in disbelief, her expression shifting dramatically. I quietly lowered my head. Oh dear. Her curses were quite vulgar. Eventually, she had to enlist the help of the production assistant to make her bed. As the assistant left, she complimented my beautiful bed sheets. It was then that I realized they were blue with little fish designs. But those sheets weren't mine. They had been brought over by Cheng Huaishu. The next day on the farm, I was jolted awake at 5:30. My mind was empty, and my stomach was growling. In my half-asleep state, I heard the commotion of others heading to the fields, realizing that breakfast had likely been depleted. With that thought, I made my way to the kitchen, intending to whip up something for myself, only to discover a bowl of wontons covered in the corner. A note rested atop it, reading, breakfast, don't starve yourself. I recognized that handwriting all too well. It could only belong to Cheng Huaishu. I discreetly tucked the note into my pocket and sat down to enjoy the wontons. Just then, Su Xiaoxiao emerged from her slumber. However, Cheng Huaishu had only left one bowl of wontons. In a rush, I offered her the remaining half bowl, knowing full well the chaos that would ensue otherwise. She glared at the bowl of wontons, exchanging looks with me. Do these guys manage their diets too? Each one has such a small appetite? I forced a smile, discreetly swallowing the wontons in my mouth. After finishing my meal, Su Xiaoxiao announced her intention to go tally up the accounts. With nothing to occupy my time, and knowing I would only be a hindrance in the fields, I asked the production team to take me to the market. I intended to buy some delicious food for them. Boss, I'll take all these fruits. And those vegetables too. I commanded at the market. The barrage of comments at that moment was relentless. Cheng Huaishu's 5-year diehard fan certification. These are all his favorites. Oh my, she really loves him. I'm in tears. You two should get back together just for my sake. Su Jiu actually wasn't asked to hand over her wallet. Has the production team finally wised up? I tightened my grip on my little wallet. This was money I had bargained with the production team for 3 hours to obtain. On the way back, we passed a pharmacy, and seizing the opportunity when no one was watching, I quietly slipped in to buy a stack of ointments. Cheng Huaishu had visible injuries all over, and I feared that one day he might collapse in the fields. Everyone had work to do. If he were to fall, the burden would inevitably fall upon me and Su Xiaoxiao, who were both idle. I couldn't bear that hardship, so I needed to buy him some medicine. Yes, that was exactly it. If Cheng Huaishu healed, I would reap the benefits. Let us Farm together adopts an operational model that combines planting with agritourism. However, the initial operations are quite challenging, So only artist friends are coming for the agritourism experience. When I returned home, I discovered that guests had arrived for the agritourism today. Xiao Yu, how have you been here? I recognized Su Fan as he greeted me, and I was taken aback. I rushed over to his side in delight. What brings you here? He smiled. I heard you were farming, so I came to join the fun. Su Fan and I had met while filming, and he had always looked after me during our time on set. Afterward, we kept in touch. Noticing the time, I decided to prepare a meal. The girl who came with Su Fan was named Yang Wei. I had seen her on a previous show, but we weren't acquainted. She eagerly approached me, offering her assistance. I was pleasantly surprised, sensing she was quite nice. I see you bought celery. Cheng Huaixu loves it. Why not cook it for lunch? Yang Wei smiled, raising the celery in her hand, and my heart suddenly sank. I forced a smile. You know Cheng Huaixu? She nodded, seemingly recalling, I was his leading lady in that little web drama he shot when he first debuted. We were both idols with no acting experience. So, we would huddle together during lunch to study the script. Her words, though perfectly ordinary, struck a chord deep within me. The barrage of comments at that moment only added fuel to the fire. Oh no, I followed that drama, and I genuinely rooted for them. I thought they were done for, but now it seems like they've been together all along. My dear microdust, Chung, sobs, revive my CP. Moreover, they're senior siblings from the same company, having trained together before their debut. Take note, everyone. I could hardly suppress the urge to gouge out my eyes. One by one, they returned. As Chize entered the courtyard, he hurriedly rushed to my side. Sister Xiao Yu, let me tell you. Today brother Huai Su mentioned you the entire morning. I was tempted to tease him. Oh, what did he say about me? He mimicked Cheng Huai Su's expression. Can that fool Su Jiyu even find breakfast? She is so terribly stupid. Cheng Huai Su behind him slapped him lightly. Are you trying to get yourself killed by mocking your brother? Chize closed his mouth awkwardly. Cheng Huai Su cast a glance at me. This kid just loves to talk nonsense. I smiled and chose to ignore him. Xiao Yu, are we having eggplants for lunch? I saw some in the field and picked a few. Su Fan spoke from behind. Before I could respond, Cheng Huai Su's expression turned serious. She is allergic to eggplants. Su Fan paused, looking over for confirmation. I nodded, sheepishly admitting it. I hadn't even realized it myself at that moment. Yang Wei smiled as she took the eggplants away. Since she was allergic, we'll just put these aside. I returned her smile and walked over to the stove. Just as I was about to start cooking, Cheng Huai Su snatched the spatula from me. Go play, you don't need to cook. I was taken aback. He looked down on me. I glared at him indignantly. I can cook. He shot me a sidelong glance. I know, but you don't need to. The men in the house are still alive. This isn't place for a girl like you. My heart raced as I blinked. Yang Wei interjected at the right moment. Cheng Huai Su is like this. He is very considerate. You go have fun. I can help here. I've done it before. Cheng Huai Su was busy cooking, seemingly oblivious to my presence. I sighed and quietly retreated from the kitchen. As I passed by Cheng Huai Su, I took the opportunity to slip the ointment I bought today into his pocket as a reward for making lunch. I swiftly escaped the kitchen. I told you, Chinga, don't be too affectionate. Microdust is truly delightful. Parental love is eternal. Xiao Yu seems like their child, so well-behaved and adorable. Xiao Yu, what did you secretly give him? Mama disapproves. Does anyone remember when Xiao Yu bought ointment on the street? Watching the continuously refreshing comments, I found myself somewhat lost in thought. The CP fans of Cheng Huai Su and Yang Wei appeared rather unexpectedly. I took out my phone and opened Weibo. The trending search terms had them occupying 3 spots consecutively. Various marketing accounts had recently released footage of the two filming and training together, enticing many fans to fall for them. The buzz rivaled that of when Cheng Huai Su responded to my interview. Chize shouted from a distance, Huai Su go. I want spicy chicken today, the extra spicy kind. Cheng Huai Su nodded in acknowledgement. Most of the 10 boys in the variety show loved spicy food, and I noticed they usually ate spicy dishes. Unfortunately, I couldn't handle the heat. So, I quietly returned and retrieved my sauce for mixing rice. The comments questioned what I was sneakily doing. I replied, I can't eat spicy, so I'm just mixing some sauce with my rice. During lunch, Yang Wei leaned closer to Cheng Huai Su, try the cucumber salad we made. I pouted. That sounded nice. I'm her, who are you? Is it so embarrassing to say my name? Cheng Huai Su turned his head to talk to Chize. I'm not eating. I watched his refusal on the tip of my tongue, but upon seeing the plate of cucumber salad, I swallowed my words. I'll give it a try. Cheng Huai Su's chopsticks reached for the cucumber salad. After the first bite, he paused. The atmosphere became somewhat delicate. Yang Wei inquired concernedly, "Is it not good?" "I didn't taste it after making it, let me try," she said, reaching for the chopsticks. But Cheng Huai-su stopped her. "Don't try it. There's too much salt in it." Cheng Huai-su picked up another bite. "With so much cilantro, we might as well call it cilantro salad." He took another bite. "Making cucumbers like this is quite impressive." Cheng Huai-su nearly cleaned the plate. Chise looked unconvinced. "I don't believe it, Huai-su go. It must be delicious. Otherwise you wouldn't be eating so much. Let me have a taste." Cheng Huai-su didn't stop him, merely letting a light remark slip as Chise extended his chopsticks. "Aren't you leaving room for your precious spicy chicken?" Chise immediately retracted his chopsticks, chuckling. "Let us save this appetizer for the brother. I'll eat the main course." I watched helplessly as Cheng Huai-su polished off the cucumber salad. I was so furious I nearly snapped my chopsticks in half. I stirred my rice expressionlessly, cursing Cheng Huai-su in my mind. "You idiot, Cheng Huai-su. Your brain must be malfunctioning, and your eyesight too. Who besides me would put so much cilantro in cucumber salad? You must be blind. Let me see who doesn't ship Yang Wei and Cheng Huai-su. Old flames are nothing. The brother has a new love." "But this cucumber salad was made by Su Ji, right?" The camera just flashed on it. "I can testify. But Yang Wei peeled it. She wasn't entirely uninvolved. But what she said is also valid. Don't take it too seriously." The comments suddenly erupted into a frenzy of conflict. Some fans even began to argue. The more I read the comments, the angrier I became, and the more I cursed Cheng Huai-su. Perhaps I was so engrossed in my insults that I didn't even notice when Cheng Huai-su left his seat. "I know you love to put cilantro in your cucumber salad, but can we use less next time?" His voice rang in my ears, startling me. I instinctively turned my head to look at him, accidentally brushing my ear against the corner of Cheng Huai-su's mouth. In an instant, I felt my ears flush with heat. For a moment, his face turned red, and so did my ears. He blinked awkwardly, then averted his gaze, placing the dish in front of me. His voice was stammering. "Try this. It's not spicy." As soon as he finished speaking, he returned to sit beside Chise. I stared blankly at the dish, hesitantly picking up my chopsticks. As soon as I took a bite, my eyes lit up. It was sweet. I didn't even realize that my lips had curled up uncontrollably. I abandoned my rice sauce and started eating the dish. But the more I ate, the harder it became to hold back my tears. He remembered everything about me. Family, take note. This is the first appearance of a non-spicy dish at the dining table of the farming boy band. Xiao Yu's initial expression was stormy. But after Chunga said something to her, she immediately bloomed like a flower. Don't ask, just know that Chunga is soothing his wife. In the afternoon, someone needed to help move the roses in the greenhouse. The roses had thorns, so gloves were necessary. Just as I took the gloves Chise handed me, I heard Yang Wei beside me ask, "Are there any more gloves? I have a piano performance in a few days and need to protect my hands." My movements froze as I handed over my gloves. But she shook her head with a smile, looking quite considerate. "A girl's hands need to be well protected. I'll go ask Cheng Huai-su for one." He tough. Sharing a glove with me wouldn't be a problem. Yang Wei ran over to Cheng Huai-su and apparently said something to him. He really did share a glove with her. My heart was immediately thrown into disarray. So, are they truly as the netizens say? Perhaps they've been secretly dating all along, just not making it public due to their careers. And Cheng Huai-su's kindness towards me is merely a remnant of childhood friendship, not because he couldn't let go of me. Su Xiao suddenly spoke up. I'm getting ready for a live stream to sell goods. There are too many nuisances around." She looked at me with a disappointed expression. "You usually seem quite smart. But now you're not seeing through Yang Wei's little tricks. What are you dawdling for? If you don't go in now, your boyfriend will run off with someone else." As she spoke, she pushed me towards the greenhouse, and I hesitated as I approached them. "Cheng Huai-su, may I take a pot of these roses with me? I adore them." Yang Wei beamed as she held a pot of roses. Yet Cheng Huai-su coldly declined, stating that the flowers were not under his purview, and if she desired them, she would have to purchase them. I was taken aback, but ultimately lacked the courage to approach. Just then, Su Fan was nearby moving flowers, so I walked over to lend him a hand. Before long, Cheng Huai-su approached, mentioning that Chise was looking for Su Fan. Yang Wei had been sent away at some point, leaving just the two of us in the greenhouse. I found him increasingly irksome, yet he still gravitated towards me. "Cheng Huai-su." I glared at him in frustration, but to my astonishment, he merely smiled. He waved the flowers in his hand, asking if I liked them, offering to give me the pot. I turned my face away, awkwardly questioning. Why did you give Yangwei the gloves? Are you so enamored with her? He interrupted me, cautioning against my wild conjecture, or else he would accuse me of defamation. It was she who claimed she wanted to protect those hands that played the piano. I feared that if I didn't give her the gloves, she might injure herself and later accuse me of owing her 88,000. After all, she was known for her penchant for seeking compensation. My anger dissipated, yet I continued to feign annoyance, asking, "Didn't you say these flowers required payment?" He chuckled, saying, "That's for others. If you want them, I'll keep them close. And after the show ends, I'll bring them to you. I can deliver them to your home. Is that acceptable?" His head tilted towards me, leaving me with no place to hide, so I reluctantly nodded. Cheng Huaishu placed the pot outside. He urged me to step out to carry things, claiming it was too stuffy inside. I acquiesced and moved outside. At that moment, his voice rang out behind me, "Su Jiu, do you only want flowers?" I quickened my pace, inadvertently colliding with Su Fan, who was entering. Noticing my flustered state, he immediately inquired about my distress. I shook my head and shifted the topic, asking what Chizé wanted from him. Su Fan wore a resigned expression, saying that Chizé hadn't sought him out at all. Perhaps Cheng Huaishu had misheard. The comment section exploded. "Brother Cheng, all who covet my wife will be dealt with by me. He did it on purpose. Cheng Huaishu is a scheming dog, coveting our fish treasure." The two major CPs are at odds. I still stand with Wei Chen. Cheng Huaishu clearly only gave Wei Wei gloves, obviously caring for her. Although at that time, could the whispered conversations of the semantic program be revealed? I'm dying of curiosity. Dinner was prepared by Yang Wei, who catered to the boys' tastes. There was little on the table that I could eat, so I resigned myself to quietly mixing my rice in a corner. Yang Wei approached with an apologetic expression. "Jiu, I forgot that you can't eat spicy food. I didn't consider it well. This soup isn't spicy. Please have some." I quickly accepted the soup, smiling to assure her it was fine. Yet she lingered, perhaps hoping I would sample her culinary skills. I wasn't particularly fond of soup, only taking a tiny sip, but it was delicious. "You truly have a talent for cooking." Cheng Huaishu appeared behind me at some point, like a bodyguard. His presence was undeniably conspicuous. I offered Cheng Huaishu some meat, hoping he would return to his seat. Yang Wei interjected at that moment, stating that Cheng Huaishu didn't eat fatty meat. Chizé chimed in to agree, confirming that Brother Huaisu indeed avoided fatty meat. Just as he finished speaking, Cheng Huaishu shoved the pieces of meat into his mouth. Yang Wei and I were taken aback. "I can eat it." Suddenly, I lost my appetite and set down my chopsticks. In my memory, Cheng Huaishu loved fatty meat. Throughout our childhood, I detested it. So, every time we dined together, I would pick it out. Cheng Huaishu would always silently finish what I left behind, saying, "I love to eat. Just give it to me from now on." I would smile at him. "Cheng Huaishu, we are truly complementary. It's such a delight to be with you." It turned out he didn't like fatty meat. I was unaware of when tears began to well in my eyes. I sniffled, my voice choked. "Foolish, Cheng Huaishu." After dinner, I felt a sudden itch all over my body. Initially thinking it was merely the rural mosquitoes causing trouble, I sprayed myself with repellent, yet the itch persisted fiercely. It wasn't until I moved to a well-lit area that I discovered a rash covering my skin. It then dawned on me that I might be having an allergic reaction. But I had only eaten rice for dinner, and that bowl of soup. I hurried to the kitchen where Cheng Huaishu was washing dishes, just as he was about to tackle the soup pot. The moment our eyes met, his expression shifted, and he instinctively turned to flee, only to collide with me standing at the door. For the first time, I saw a look of panic on his face. "That soup was eggplant soup. I saw you drink it. Are you allergic? Where do you feel unwell?" I finally pieced everything together. The only ones in the kitchen that day were Yang Wei and Su Fan, who had overheard my allergy to eggplant. Tonight's dinner was entirely orchestrated by Yang Wei. Knowing Cheng Huaishu didn't like soup, he wouldn't have specifically checked what today's soup was. Furthermore, the bowl she served me bore no trace of eggplant, making it impossible for him to notice. A chill ran through me. I had thought she was rather kind. Thankfully, I had only tasted a small sip, otherwise, I could have faced a life-threatening allergic reaction. I reassured Cheng Huaishu, saying it was only a minor issue. It wasn't a big deal. "Please go buy me some medicine, and I should be fine after taking it." Cheng Huaishu immediately agreed, swiftly driving into town to procure the medicine. The production team also paused filming, for if my situation were scrutinized by the wrong people, the show could be jeopardized. Hence, The segment concerning my allergy could not be aired. The commotion drew many concerned onlookers. Among them, Yang Wei was the most distraught, crying, "Jiu, I forgot about your eggplant allergy. I thought to avoid wasting the eggplant, not realizing it would lead to this." In front of everyone, I could hardly vehemently condemn her. "It's all right. I didn't see any eggplant in the bowl you served me. It was also my oversight." In that instant, all sound ceased. The eggplant soup contained a considerable amount of eggplant. Unless thoroughly picked through, it would have been impossible to find no trace of it whatsoever. Suddenly, everyone's gaze towards Yang Wei became laden with unspoken words. A crack appeared in her expression, but she quickly masked it, insisting I shouldn't make excuses for her mistake. "It was my fault for not being mindful of your dietary restrictions that caused you such suffering." I smiled gently, assuring her it was nothing to worry about. She shouldn't blame herself. As the clock approached midnight, Cheng Huaishi returned with the medicine. After taking it, my symptoms gradually improved, and he finally felt at ease. He was fully aware of the chain of events, yet he found himself at a loss for action. Punishing Yang Wei could ruin the program that had taken over 100 days to film. He couldn't let my plight undermine the efforts of hundreds in the production team. One cannot allow a single mouse droppings to spoil a pot of porridge. Ultimately, Cheng Huaishu held my hand, his eyes reddened, saying, "Su Jiu, I will not let go of anyone who harms you." The redness and itchiness from the allergy had not entirely subsided, and I found myself restless. Fearing I might disturb Su Xiaoxiao, I decided to step outside for a moment. However, upon exiting, I encountered Su Fan, who was lingering at my door. It was already past 1 in the morning. What was he doing awake? "Little fish, I am about to leave. Will you accompany me?" I was perplexed, asking, "Huh?
Why?"
He fell silent for a moment, explaining that his urgency to leave tonight was because director Song Wen's film was casting for the female lead, and he could guarantee that you would be the only choice for the role. I was momentarily speechless. Song Wen was a director I greatly respected, and I yearned to collaborate with him. Su Fan continued to present his case, reassuring me not to worry about any breach of contract. He could invest in their project as compensation. My mind was a whirlwind, unsure of how to decide. Unexpectedly, Su Fan took the opportunity to grasp my hand, his demeanor earnest. "Su Jiu, after all these years, do you truly not understand my feelings?" I withdrew my hand, about to refuse him, when I heard a sound from a nearby shipping container. The next moment, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was Cheng Huaishu, holding the flowers he had promised to give me the day before. He replaced the flower pot with a new one and trimmed the branches. Cheng Huaishu's silhouette was shrouded in darkness, illuminated only by the light that graced his face. He smiled slightly, asking, "Su Jiu, do you still want the flower?" I heard my instinctive reply, yes. I turned down Su Fan's offer. I could strive for the leading role in director Song's play on my own. Relying on your connections for the part would leave me even less at ease. Safe travels, Su Fan. Despite all these years, I understand your feelings. Yet my heart still belongs to him. Only him. I disregarded Su Fan's dejected expression and followed Cheng Huaishu back to the courtyard. "It's late. Why aren't you asleep?" Cheng Huaishu hesitated. "I was afraid you might not feel well, so I stayed by your side." My heart skipped a beat. "No need for that. You have work tomorrow. You should rest early. I'll head back to sleep." With that, I turned to walk into the house. But Cheng Huaishu called out to me. He opened his mouth, yet no sound emerged. Eventually, he simply smiled and uttered 2 words, "Good night." Yet, sleep eluded me. Just as I managed to force myself to drift off, the incessant ding of message notifications jolted me awake. My resentment was more potent than a ghost's. Unlocking my phone, I saw a WeChat message from Cheng Huaishu. "What did that dog Su Fan say to you today?" I pressed the keyboard with a frown. "Nothing much." Cheng Huaishu replied instantly. "Do you believe that?" "I certainly don't." My interrupted sleep left me feeling like a firecracker, ready to explode. "Cheng Huaishu, don't push it." Cheng Huaishu shot back. "I'm pushing it? You don't want the roses anymore, right?"
Fine.
I'm the one being excessive.
Excessive.
I was so exasperated that I couldn't help but laugh. Then I noticed his social media background, WeChat name, personal signature, and profile picture had all been changed to "I'm excessive."
Oh my.
He was a bit adorable. I glanced at my phone, chuckling with delight.
No.
He was truly charming. I attempted to send him a few messages, but he ignored me completely. Then I asked, "Do you want to know what I told him?" He replied immediately, "What did you say?" After a moment of hesitation, I decided to type it out. I said, "I only like him." Then I promptly turned off my phone and went to sleep, disregarding Cheng Huaishu's fate. The consequence of my insomnia was that I awoke the next morning with dark circles under my eyes. Su Xiaoxiao asked if I had been out stealing. I told her to go away. She scolded me for my lack of manners. I didn't deny it. Waking up early every day. A little rudeness was to be expected. Just as I stepped outside, I ran into Cheng Huaishu, who was waiting by the door. Su Xiaoxiao mocked us. You two seem to have quite the business acumen, upgrading yourselves to national treasures overnight. She laughed and walked away, leaving Cheng Huaishu and me exchanging glances.
Suzu.
Was your WeChat message yesterday a relay or a repeat? My brain was still rebooting.
Huh.
His gaze flickered uncertainly as he stammered. What I mean is, do you like him or me? In that moment, a flicker of surprise and elation crept into my heart, like a pebble dropped suddenly into a still lake, causing ripples to surge. Before I could finish, a distant voice interrupted. Cheng Huaishu was called away. Watching his retreating figure, I softly whispered, I like you. Chise mentioned that the boys on the business trip would be returning today, so we needed to go out to buy some vegetables and meat. He had originally planned for Cheng Huaishu and me to go shopping. Yang Wei said she happened to need to buy something as well and wanted to join us. As we got into the car, she shyly leaned closer to me. Jiu, I get car sick easily, so can I sit in the passenger seat? I glanced at Cheng Huaishu in the driver's seat, forced a smile, and relinquished the front seat. She had already expressed her need, and it would be inconsiderate of me to insist on the passenger seat. I settled into the back seat instead. Out of the corner of my eye, I caught Cheng Huaishu's look. He scoffed, this isn't Dongding Lake. Where would all this Biluakun come from? Microdust Cheng is so sweet. They're such a perfect match, lock them in. Brother Cheng used to say only his girlfriend could sit in the passenger seat. Does this mean he's acknowledging Yang Wei's position? Oh my, did Brother Cheng's words imply something about Yang Wei? My ears must not have misheard. Cheng Huaishu sighed and called Chise, who was moving bricks nearby. Chise looked bewildered as he asked what was up. My hand hurts, you drive. I still feel a bit car sick, so I'll lie in the back to rest. With that, he turned and sat beside me. Just as Chise was about to start driving, Su Xiaoxiao suddenly dashed out, clamoring to join us. You two can squeeze together. She pushed me toward Cheng Huaishu, and in a moment of confusion, I stumbled and ended up falling into Cheng Huaishu's embrace. Flustered, I quickly sat up, my face flushed, while the instigator laughed joyfully. Continue. Bring it on, I love watching. One gets car sick in the front, the other in the back. Who should we believe? Yesterday, Cheng Huaishu indeed hurt his hand while moving flowers. Today, it must be genuinely painful. Ignoring it, it shouldn't hurt now, yet it does. My brother Cheng is truly an iPhone. Sister Su, play me. When you get married, sit at the main table. I'm not joking. After spending so much time in the village, even fruits felt like a luxury. I found myself unable to walk past a fruit stand. Yang Wei pointed at the strawberries. Cheng Huaishu, do you remember when we were filming? The crew was so broke, we only had a few real props and the rest were fake. After that scene, we secretly shared those strawberries? Cheng Huaishu glanced at her, nonchalantly replying, I don't recall too clearly, but I wasn't that greedy. I didn't touch a single strawberry. She chuckled as she picked up a box of strawberries. I must have liked strawberries too much, so you saved them for me. Let us buy a box today. Consider it a treat. Cheng Huaishu replied flatly, I want to eat them, and fruits aren't on today's list. We're using public funds today. If you want them, you'll have to pay yourself. With that, he turned and walked away, completely unconcerned about the camera. At that moment, looking at Yang Wei annoyed me. I lost my appetite even for the strawberries I had been craving. Suddenly, Yang Wei called out to Cheng Huaishu. Cheng Huaishu, are you still mad at me? I didn't mean to do that. Can you please not be upset with me? I turned to see Cheng Huaishu, who had already walked away, returning. My hand, which had been hanging by my side, clenched tightly, my fingertips nearly embedding themselves into my flesh. I couldn't even begin to describe the emotions surging within me. It felt as if a tiny thorn had pricked my heart, barely noticeable yet fleeting. However, that subtle pain spread within me, leaving me despondent from head to toe. Su Jiu, help me grab some vegetables. Su Xiaoxiao's call snapped me out of my chaotic thoughts, and I hurried over to assist her. She added mysteriously, Sister, I checked, these vegetables are all your favorites. And I bought a lot of meat today, afraid you might starve. I paused, letting out a bitter laugh. Stop talking nonsense. Chise chimed in. Sister Xiaoxiao isn't talking nonsense. I'm here too. I'm a renowned love guardian. No couple can escape my watch, and Brother Huaishu, he truly My heartache was momentarily soothed, and I chatted with him for a while, even failing to notice Cheng Huaishu's dark expression beside me. It was only when he suddenly spoke that I jumped in surprise. Stop chatting with him. Cheng Huaishu's voice was sullen. I didn't take it to heart. He was just being playful. Cheng Huaishu, looking serious, emphasized the wording, he is a little boy. The emphasis on boy felt like it was squeezed out between his teeth. He seemed a bit upset. On the way back, he didn't say a word to me. Upon returning to the village, Cheng Huaishu deliberately slowed his pace. And I walked behind him. Unbeknownst to us, it has come down to just the two of us. I reached out, and as I looked up in a daze, Cheng Huaishu magically produced a box of strawberries from behind him. In that fleeting moment, my heart burst forth like fireworks, a celebration entirely my own.
So,
He had returned to buy strawberries for me? Cheng Huaishu's lips curled into a smile, a selfless act of generosity. I discreetly tucked away the strawberries, murmuring my thanks. Is mere verbal gratitude sufficient? Shouldn't there be a more tangible expression? He gradually closed the distance between us, and I found myself lost in the depths of his gaze. I'll share half the strawberries with you. The barrage of comments was faster than the beat of my heart. The semantic program is locked down. I saw it. Chengge secretly bought strawberries. Whoa, but ISN, teaching Huaishu being nice to Xiao Yu out of spite for Yangwei? Yangwei did mention they were arguing. Pure bystander. These two don't seem to be acting. They must be in a relationship. I fidgeted with my fingers, thinking he had gone back for Yangwei. Cheng Huaishu shot me a sidelong glance, neither denying nor confirming, merely stating he had also checked on her. My heart tightened instantly. What did he want with her? Cheng Huaishu raised an eyebrow, inching closer. Are you quite concerned about the two of us? My heart raced, and I instinctively turned to flee, but decided against speaking out. Cheng Huaishu grasped my hand, his eyes twinkling with mirth. I warned her, don't be foolish, and refrain from making outlandish remarks. Don't pretend to be familiar with someone who has no connection to you. If you make my girlfriend unhappy again. I let it slide. I was momentarily taken aback, and my cheeks flushed with heat. Who is your girlfriend? He looked at me with a grin. Whoever responds is. After the shopping task was completed, my manager called. I stepped into a corner to answer. Su Jiu, you are making your sister proud. You've already hit the trending list 8 times since the show started, and in all these years, we've never been this popular. She continued to chatter on. This couple dynamic is simply perfect. I haven't seen you perform this well in ages. Keep it up. After the show, you're bound to become a sensation. I dared not disclose to her that my performance stemmed from genuine emotion, not skill. I had thought it was just an ordinary call, but I had forgotten to remove the other microphone I was wearing. The call instantly turned extraordinary. Upon returning home, I discovered that the boys who had been on business trips had returned. Initially, I had no desire to join the commotion, but unexpectedly, their leader, Fang Yu, made a beeline for me. He approached with a friendly greeting, long admired, sister-in-law. My jaw nearly dropped in astonishment. Brother, you must have mistaken me for someone else. He patted his chest. Impossible. Cheng Huaishu's phone wallpaper is you. When we asked him who you were, he said you were his girlfriend. That guy brags about you being his girlfriend to everyone.
I glanced at Cheng Huaishu for confirmation.
The moment our eyes met, he averted his gaze faster than anyone else. So now he is concerned about appearances. Thankfully, the director's team was busy testing equipment at noon, so they didn't capture this moment. Otherwise, the viewers scrutinizing the show would have gone into an uproar. Xiao Yu, come join the fun. Fang Yu called me over. They had launched a new karaoke project at the agri-tainment venue, currently in its trial phase. Fang Yu and the others shared some homemade plum wine. I took a sip. It was fragrant and sweet. Cheng Huaishu also indulged in a few cups, his face flushed to the point of resembling a ripe fruit. He has always been like this. 1 cup and he is tipsy. After finishing, he glowed with a rosy hue. I couldn't help but tease him. A man who can't handle his liquor should step outside and drink with the dogs. Cheng Huaishu smirked. I'm not drunk. He organized Fang Yu to hand him the microphone and began selecting songs on the machine. With one hand gripping the mic, his gaze locked onto me. The multicolored lights dancing across his profile, rendering him somewhat elusive yet stirring my emotions. It had been so long since I had truly looked at him. He had lost so much weight and darkened considerably, his body adorned with numerous scars. The one constant was that he still made my heart flutter. Cheng Huaishu began to sing, his voice gravelly from the alcohol. Wherever the future leads, as long as you're happy, it matters not to me. I know you best. Your love for freedom is matched only by my love for you. Love can conquer distance, no matter how far. We must be together. As he gazed into my eyes while singing the line, "No matter how far, we must be together," I crumbled. Everyone cheered for him. Yet I was the only one in tears. Chung Huaishu stepped closer. "Su Jiu, how about a confession session? Are you in?" I stifled my tears and replied, "Sure." After all, he was intoxicated. It was time to indulge recklessly. "Su Jiu, why did we break up back then? Don't give me that nonsense about long-distance relationships." I never bought into it. I looked down at his tightly clenched hands. "Chung Huaishu, do you remember Jiang Ting?" He paused, nodding in acknowledgement. Chung Huaishu had gone missing at 6 years old, only to be returned by a girl who called in. When they found him, he was ragged, trembling in a corner from the cold. He was hospitalized, and I was frantic, staying by his side every day. Perhaps that memory was too dark, and he subconsciously blurred it, mistaking me for the girl who had helped him. But I knew I was not her. I had always sought the girl who had saved him. On the day Chung Huaishu confessed his feelings for me, I asked him why he wanted to be with me. He smiled and said, "One must repay a life-saving grace with one's own life." In that moment, I felt as though I had awoken from a deep slumber. I suddenly understood that all the kindness Chung Huaishu had shown me over the years, all his affection, was rooted in that past debt of gratitude. The person who could be with him could be me, or anyone else. It was also on that day that I found the girl who had helped him all those years ago. Her name was Jiang Ting. She was not faring well. Having been forced to drop out of school by her parents, working at the age of 18, I had secretly visited her. She wore ill-fitting clothes, expertly working on an assembly line. A wave of immense guilt washed over me, almost drowning me. If only I had been honest with Chung Huaishu back then. The one who saved him was not me, but Jiang Ting. He would certainly have expressed his gratitude to her, perhaps even bringing her to the Chung family. Her life should not have turned out this way. I had destroyed her future. "So, you broke up with me due to your guilt towards Jiang Ting?" Chung Huaishu asked, his voice choked with emotion. I silently nodded. But then, he suddenly grew fierce, pulling me into his embrace. I could distinctly hear the powerful rhythm of his heartbeat. "Su Jiu, you're such a fool. We've grown up together since birth, spent 20 years together. How could I possibly develop feelings for someone who suddenly appeared? Even if she saved my life, I only feel gratitude towards her." The more he spoke, the harder I cried. My mind was flooded with memories from our childhood. He gently wiped away my tears with his fingertips. I only sought an excuse for my feelings. Couldn't he just tell you that I was madly in love with you and wanted to be with you, to marry you?" I stood there, gazing at him through my blurred tears. There was never any divine intervention, it was always just the two of us. "I like you and only you." I could no longer contain my sobs, collapsing into Chung Huaishu's embrace, weeping uncontrollably. After the tears had flowed, Chung Huaishu cupped my face, serious yet earnest. "You have a mouth. If you're unhappy, speak up. If you're still unhappy, scold me. You must express yourself so I can make you happy. Otherwise, is it worth it to be apart for 3 years over a misunderstanding?" I pouted. Absolutely not. I was initially still immersed in the somber atmosphere, but suddenly, the unexpected sound of fireworks caught me off guard. I turned to see several boys hiding in the shadows, cheering loudly congratulations to Huaishu for successfully winning back his girlfriend. What a joyous occasion. Let us add more dishes tonight. It was at that moment that realization dawned upon me. It turns out this group of individuals was conspiring against me all along. Chung Huaishu has long since shed his previous drunken demeanor, his gaze now crystal clear. Oh, dear. A bunch of rascals. It is utterly shameful. I retreated to my room like a frightened quail. Su Xiaoxiao mocked me for being cowardly. I only dared to emerge once the gathering had dispersed. Little did I expect, as I stepped out to seek sustenance, that Chung Huaishu would catch me red-handed.
Si Bao.
"Are you hungry?" I instantly teleported in front of him, silencing his prattle. He was uttering some nonsense.
"Who told you to call me that?"
Chung Huaishu looked aggrieved, claiming it was how he had always addressed me. It then dawned on me that when I was younger, my family had all called me Xiao Bao, Chung Huaishu included. He audaciously pressed on Xiao Bao. I wished fervently to silence him on the spot. At that moment, the well-known passerby Chize happened to stroll by. Not missing the opportunity to interject, "Bro, what are you two up to?" Chung Huaishu, quick of tongue, replied, "It's just a bit of fun." I pressed my hand more firmly over his mouth, leaving him only able to whimper. Chize's questioning gaze sought clarification on what he had just heard. I offered a perfunctory smile, stating he was merely an islander. After Chize departed, I finally released my grip, only to be unexpectedly greeted by Chung Huaishu. who kissed my palm before leaving. Oh no, my hand. I had initially vowed silently to ignore Chen Huaishu for an entire day. Yet, within 10 minutes, I was won over by a bowl of fried rice he had brought me. He had even thoughtfully added some side dishes. I was utterly charmed. The following morning, I was jolted awake by my manager's relentless phone calls. The voice on the other end was frantic. Su Jiu, hurry on Weibo, there's been an incident. I hastily opened Weibo and discovered our names, Chen Huaishu and I, prominently displayed at the top of the trending list. Chen Huaishu Suje B semantic program industrial sweetener completely B. Upon clicking the trending topic, I realized that my conversation with my manager had inadvertently leaked, exploited by those with ulterior motives. Man Wile, Yang Wei, Undeteret, had posted a Weibo statement. Actors sometimes find themselves at the mercy of circumstances. This is quite normal in this industry. The words were ambiguous. Yet when combined with the context of our show, it cunningly shifted the narrative. The comments beneath her post swelled with disdain directed at me. We feel for our Weiwei. Her boyfriend is forced to perform with others on a variety show, while she must silently endure. Anyone would be angered watching their boyfriend stir up old flames. Weiwei has such a good temperament. Su Jiu, how shameless. Knowing that as someone else's boyfriend, yet you still rush to get close, showing no regard for your predecessor. Reading these comments left me utterly drained. At that moment, Weibo notified me. Chen Huaishu you follow is online. Chen Huaishu had uploaded a plethora of photographs, chronicling my life from childhood to adulthood. Many of the images were ones I had never seen before. Chen Huaishu captioned them, "Childhood sweethearts truly make a couple. The sweetness is entirely genuine." He reassured everyone that they could ship us without fear of collapse. The tide of public opinion turned dramatically. Suddenly, the focus shifted to condemning Yang Wei as a scheming opportunist, demanding her apology and exit from the entertainment industry. Yang Wei attempted to clarify that she had only complained due to being forced to alter a scene by the director while filming, emphasizing her sense of helplessness. Each word was aimed at absolving herself. However, Chen Huaishu's fans were unconvinced, inundating her Weibo with accusations of being an attention seeker. Ultimately, Chen Huaishu released a lengthy 2-hour video on Weibo. Upon opening it, I discovered it was a compilation of my growth journey from the age of 1 to 23. The early years featured footage captured by adults, but from middle school onward, it was all shot by him. On the day I graduated from high school, at 18, Chen Huaishu presented me with a bouquet of roses, his eyes filled with dreams for the future. This was the 18-year-old Xiao Bao, who had just graduated. Soon, we would be together. In the first year of our separation, when I was 20, Chen Huaishu braved a heavy snowstorm, traveling to Jilin while I was there filming. Unable to return home for the new year, he pointed at my distant figure and said, "This is the 20-year-old Xiao Bao. She cannot go home for the new year." So, I came to keep her company. Now, at 23, on my first day in this new place, Chen Huaishu sat outside my window all night, his camera capturing only that window and the faint silhouette of a person. I heard his hoarse and choked voice. "This is the 23-year-old Xiao Bao. This year, we finally reunite." By the end, I was sobbing uncontrollably, unable to steady my phone. Some lament the lack of sincerity in fast-paced romances, while others pour their hearts out in declarations of love. Yang Wei's reputation plummeted to new lows just as the show concluded, minimizing its impact on the production team. Chen Huaishu no longer held back, exposing the improper dealings between Yang Wei and upper management. That executive, envious of the buzz surrounding our rumored romance, sought to involve his mistress in the limelight by orchestrating a scandal with Yang Wei, inserting her into the variety show to stir up rumors with Chen Huaishu. Little did they know, Yang Wei's actions had incensed Chen Huaishu, who severed her escape routes. She oppressed colleagues, usurped resources, and intruded into others' lives. Each transgression was enough to condemn her 1,000 times over. Chen Huaishu even released a statement declaring that he had no connection to Yang Wei, asserting that she was merely seeking attention. His fans swiftly dismantled Yang Wei's online presence, deleting her accounts and berating her on social media. Rumor has it that Yang Wei was eventually confronted by the wife of the executive, receiving a brutal beating, all while burdened with hefty penalties for breach of contract. Life became exceedingly difficult for her. On the day the show concluded, it coincided with the harvest season for wheat. As I looked out, the fields were a sea of golden wheat ears. I had intended to assist with the harvest, having even procured a sickle. However, Chen Huaishu, with an air of exasperation, scooped me up from the field, saying, "Su Jiu, you're behind the times. We use machines for harvesting now." The sickle in my hand suddenly felt less appealing. I then witnessed Cheng Huaishu deftly maneuvering a harvester, expertly reaping the wheat. I marveled, whose boyfriend operates a harvester with such skill. Cheng Huaishu, while working, boasted, "In just 2 hours, we finished harvesting all the wheat. The golden fields were stripped bare, and I felt a bit dazed. Until Cheng Huaishu approached me, softly stating, 'After all these years, I finally accomplished a second meaningful thing.' I smiled and inquired, 'And what was the first?' He glanced at me and replied, 'Loving you.' The comments exploded with excitement. With 20,000 on Cheese Ace Tap, semantic program, marry me. Oh, childhood sweethearts are truly the best. Don't love too much. Semantic program. Having watched Ching Ji's little film, it's clear this journey has not been easy. May you be together happily. I silently returned to packing my things. Though I hadn't felt like I'd been at the show for long, I discovered a mountain of disarray awaiting my attention. As I gazed at the chaos, Cheng Huaishu naturally walked into the room, instinctively helping me tidy up. I couldn't help but commend him for his conscientiousness. Within roughly half an hour, he had everything organized, yet he lingered, unwilling to leave. Is there something else? I asked. Cheng Huaishu, awkwardly, produced a pot of flowers from behind his back. They were the roses he had promised me. Should I take the flowers with me? Of course. He continued to inquire. And what about the person who nurtures the flowers? His eyes sparkled with hope, and I could feel his anticipation. I feigned a frown, putting on an unwilling expression. Of course, they must come along too. Cheng Huaishu, come home with me. He beamed, cradling the flowers, at your command. The tale has come to a close. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed it, kindly consider subscribing and liking to show your support. Until we meet again for the next story.